Hi, another snowy day, and so I've put this video together that hopefully will help you, because I know some of you are still a little bit worried about the class assessment. There is a sample scenario on MyCYM. Take a look at that. Have a go at doing it yourself. I've put in some ideas about how I might answer it that will give you a guideline of what we're looking for, the amount that we're looking for, or the approaches to take. This video is going to go through step by step with some tips, some do's, some don'ts, ideas about what you can do before you come into the class so that you have already kind of saved yourself some time and are coming in prepared. If you've got any questions, please email me at my St John's address, send me a text message and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But don't stress and enjoy. Okay, so before you come into the assessment, you need to decide how you're going to actually write the assessment. You've got the choice, you can use a laptop or a tablet, or you can write it by hand, but it's good to have kind of planned that before. Also, before you come into the assessment, you need to download the marking sheet, the ethical summary and assignment template from MyCYM. It's one document. You will save it as normal with your surname, first name, module code and Midlands Centre. If you are handwriting your assignment, you need to bring these printed with you to fill in. You can also prepare references in another document that you add as you want to. So this is the format you need to save your file in. Really important, remember where you've saved it. This is an assessment that's done under exam conditions, so you need to switch off Wi-Fi, or you need to know how to switch Wi-Fi off from your tablet or your laptop, and you need to do that before you come into the room. There's no internet allowed. Internet can be monitored at St John's, and anybody found breaching this will face consequences. Also, no mobile phones, so leave them in a safe place or hand them into the invigilator. You won't be contactable within the hour and a half of the assessment. Exam conditions, so you're not allowed to eat or drink. Grab a drink before you come in. Plan something nice for afterwards, and if you want to give your tutor chocolate, I hear she loves it, but it won't affect your grades. Also, you're not allowed to chat to other people, so you can't say, can I borrow that book, or can I do this? Hello, how are you doing? That's not going to be allowed. There's two approaches for the assessment. Some people decide to gamble and prepare for just one scenario because that's what they feel most comfortable with. Other people come prepared with material for each of the situations, which is grievance and disciplinary, health and safety, or safeguarding. Totally up to you which approach you take. It's just good to have thought about those two options beforehand. Really obvious, but you need to make sure your laptop or tablet has got enough battery to last for 1.5 hours. If you think this is going to be a problem, you need to let us know beforehand so we can put extra power banks near your desk. Otherwise, you will be given that 1.5 hours. If your battery runs out halfway through, that will be your own responsibility. Again, there is no internet in the room, but if you download any documents you want beforehand, just know where you've put them on your computer. If you're using PDFs, you can screenshot the quotes and use the picture in rather than having to write the whole quote out. It's always good if you've got a backup copy, just in case a disaster happens on the day. There is no extra accommodation should you have a technical problem on the day. That is your problem to sort out. Sorry, just go back there again. Bring in as many policies or procedures that you think you may use, and you can bring in as many books as you want. You can bookmark these, you can put sticky notes in them. If you put sticky notes on, it's good to put on the edge what it relates to, so it's really quick to find during the actual assessment. So in the room, make sure you've got plenty of time to set up when you arrive. It's one person per desk. You'll have your own space. Make yourself comfortable and make yourself prepared. Anyone arriving late may not be allowed to sit the exam. You have to pass both parts of the assessment for this module, and so that could jeopardise your whole assessment and module. When you begin, you're going to have 15 minutes to read through the scenarios and make notes. Turn the paper over, have a look. We'll provide you with some paper to take notes on. You can bring your own, however you want to do it. But those 15 minutes are to read through the scenarios. Think of the initial things that come to mind as you read them, maybe linking into some of your policies or procedures or regulations you've used, those initial first thoughts. 15 minutes, and you're not allowed to start until those 15 minutes are up. So the amount we're expecting you to write, we are not expecting an assignment. We're looking for how you can deal with an emergency situation. If you can plan some action that would be taken in a scenario that faces you suddenly. So the aim is up to 1,500 words. It's an assessment and not an assignment. You can use bullet points, you can use tables, whatever works for you, but we're not particularly looking at a beautifully crafted piece of work. We are looking at your ability to assess a scenario and to deal with it. So what to do? Explore the scenario, think about the issues, detail those, look at the immediate action, and write with clarity rather than beauty. How to write it? We use the DECIDE model. So D stands for define. Define what's happening. So rewriting the scenario as you understand it. Read it, think about it. What do you think it says? Then E, look at all of the situations. Consider all the aspects and the people involved. This might be where you choose to link to policy or procedure, thinking about what's happening. C, this is going to be a smaller section. This is clarify. Just reiterate what you are actually going to be looking at. Then look for all the possible solutions for each area you've identified. Each scenario will have something that's quite obvious, but it will have other implications. Do consider those. As you consider them, there are extra grades rather than just kind of having a rabbits in the headlights of this is what's glaring me in the face. Okay, then you need to take those ideas and decide what is the best way forward. Who is going to do what and when? So you might want to use SMART objectives for this. And if you've identified more than one issue, then you might want to have several sets of SMART objectives depending on what's happening. And then finally, evaluate. This isn't going to be a big section for you because it's hypothetical, but briefly refer to how you'd be able to tell if your action's been successful or what you hope the outcome might be. In reality, this might be the section that you go back to, but for us here, what will be kind of the markers that it is successful? And then finally, you want your theology and theory, bullet points. So we've got an example on the next page. This is going to be at the end. You can obviously put in more than 3, but just an example of what we're looking for in terms of the bullet points. So what theory have you used? What theory have you related this to? What's the theology behind it? So if you're choosing disciplinary and grievance, where is that exampled in the Bible? If you're choosing safeguarding, where is the example of that in the Bible? If you're choosing health and safety, where is the theological reflection on that? And bullet point those areas. And then finally, and really, really, really importantly, is references. Don't forget to put your references at the end. Like I said, you could have it on a separate document, and then just copy and paste into your assignment. You might already have put in some references and then delete the ones that you haven't used. But it's really important that you do put references. Otherwise, your work will be classed as plagiarism because you're quoting people but using your own words. And that can result in a fail and further action being taken. So that's the class test. If you've got any problems or any more questions following on from that, contact me at this email address, or you can text me and I'll get back to you. Hopefully that's answered things and made it a bit more clear. But like I say, just get back to me if you've got any questions. Thank you.